They say I have a grim sense of humor.
強く強く輝いて消えた流れ星ほら命が燃える何かに怯え
name for a bit there. So two powerhouses of this league as we get on into the business end of this season. Con Esports, the undisputed top of the league right now, having started 4-0. That being said, Akuma Sabers not far behind, sitting 3-1. And so I think Akuma Sabers, considering the start of their season, this could definitely be a very statement match if they could take this one off Con Esports today. Stoked.
Yes, sir, and absolutely a lot of bot bans on the blue side already. Got a Draven and a Rakan. They're definitely targeting Rat the WG here.
Yeah, it's one of those things that Rat the WG, 5th in CS per minute. Very good gold accumulator on the side of Akuma Sabers, and especially if you can kind of crowd him out there. LL Cool J's on the side of Con Esports, 2nd in CS per minute, only behind TTM Tethys' ADC, who I'm forgetting the name of right now. Epic Fail Guy. There we go. Sam, and speaking of ADCs, straight away, I'm assuming if this Kai'Sa gets locked in, I'd be surprised if it doesn't. There you have it.
2 powerhouse ADCs.
Yeah.
And I like Kai'Sa into Jinx, a highly mobile carry. And I'm assuming, if they're going to go an all-in dive composition with this Vi, you don't want your carry to be left behind.
No, absolutely not, and especially since Vi has that, just go and the we go button. Yeah. Definitely a fairly easy way to get Kai'Sa in, and something that with I do like that as a response though.
Yeah.
Immediately as a jungler, Poppy getting picked up can definitely crowd out the Vi and the Kai'Sa as an immediate response. Nor do you really open up anything else. I should suspect, that I'm actually a really big fan of that, even though I haven't seen a lot of Mytherium play Poppy at all so far this split. It's definitely fitting. But that being said, Maokai also getting locked in. I've seen probably support Stoke.
Yeah, I'd say support. I mean, it's possible he could be jungle, although we don't see that too often these days. I do like the Poppy. I kind of wish that they chose Maokai a little later in the draft. Poppy is a good flex, could go jungle, could go top. And Sir Raven on the side of Khan is actually impressive, because although he could have a weak side top, he's 2nd highest damage per minute, but also 8th gold per minute. So this is a very high activity, high value, low income player.
Speaking of other things, I can see why they go with Lissandra here on the side of Akuma Sabers. You're playing into LL Cool J's if you want to just kind of nullify that lane and kind of just say no, we're not going to deal with that today. Yeah, I mean that's basically what Lissandra does in mid lane though. Like, she just goes no, and if you want to target out LL Cool J's without specifically committing all your bans to the mid lane, I definitely think this is a decent option if you are Akuma Sabers here.
Absolutely, keeping in theme with the all-in comp as well. It's got a very nice synergy, and she could go bot lane as a support too if they're feeling particularly sneaky.
I mean, I guess I've seen it once before. I wasn't a big fan, but I know there are a few believers in the Lissandra support. Especially with Aftershock, it's almost less so of a mage and more so just support tank items from what I understand. Which, I mean, I guess that's one way to do it. I mean, you get the extra push. Speaking of support engages, something that hasn't been picked yet on the side of Akuma Sabers is their support, and immediately targets away from the side of Con Esports. A bit understandable considering the theme of the draft, not wanting the Nautilus available nor that Aatrox as well. To kind of just pile on that. Fairly reasonable bans considering the very early theme starting to develop from the side of Akuma.
Nice. I like the Cassante pick. He's got very good peel, and he can do a lot of work here, keeping Poppy and Maokai away from the back line. I wonder if we're going to see a Braum come out for Akuma. The Braum would be a really good disengage and pretty strong at following up this dive composition with the Vi and the Lissandra Kai'Sa.
Yeah, honestly, a little bit strange that they went with Cassante first, especially here on red side, because it does open up counterpick in the top lane, which will be that Olaf for the side of Con Esports, as you're mentioning Sir Raven. one of the best
Yeah.
top laners in the league so far, and the absolute comfort zone for the side of LL Cool Jace and these two solo laners. These solo lanes, which, even though we've only mentioned Con Esports so far, which is a little bit understandable considering they are 4-0, only dropped 3 games in total so far this split, it's nothing to... Toomey and Mui, which are always fun to cast together because of how similar their names are. They're nothing to scoff at either. You know, you said Sir Raven, second highest damage per minute. Toomey and Mui, though, both 4th and 5th, so the fact that they would just give up counterpick like that to Sir Raven, meanwhile leaving Toomey a little, not necessarily out on his own there on Cassante. Cassante's still a fairly stable pick, despite having fallen a little bit in priority, and to save it for Blitzcrank. I mean, I love me some Blitzcrank, don't get me wrong, right? Like, Blitzcrank, great champion, always fun to see. I just, you know,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm not really feeling it. They have so many champions. I mean, Jinx is really the only one you're gonna want to pull here. I don't know if you want to help Azir, Olaf, Maokai, or Poppy get closer to your team. I mean, it all depends on the circumstance. Pull them over a wall. There aren't too many people other than Azir that is the only champion on the side of Khan that can get over a wall reliably.
Wait, I've just got an update on the rosters. Apparently, Akuma Sabers running with a few of their designated substitutes. It's not Toomey in the top lane this time around. It is Contigo Poor, who's definitely more so of that weak slide, hold it down weak side top laner, which might explain why they would choose to go for Cassante and not save counterpick there. Also in support, it's not. This is my personal favorite. Up arrow hyphen down arrow. Also pronounced Kyle.
What?
No, yeah, it's pronounced. It was the first game. It was the first game we casted for Blue Water Diamond in week 1. Was Akuma Sabers, and I forget who they're playing against. And I actually asked in the client how I should pronounce that name. They said Kyle. Unfortunately, we do not have Kyle in support today, though. For the side of Akuma Sabers, we have Sun and Stars there. So we've got a few slight changes up in the roster for Akuma Sabers, which does somewhat change how we might go about this draft and does explain a little bit more as to the decisions behind this draft even.
And I am seeing a really strong mid game for Khan. I mean, when these guys hit level 6, level 9, especially level 11, you get 2 ults onto Azir, 2 levels into Olaf's ult. They're going to be pretty difficult to lock down. Especially as Olaf gets ahead. I mean, good luck with Lissandra.
Yeah, it's definitely... I do like this Olaf pick if you're talking about avoiding that lockdown. And there's really mainly one target you want to go on, so that Kaisa, and with Poppy there, being able to just say, haha, no dash. I think early on I do fancy Con Esports' chances early on as well, and it also, I will admit, that 4-0 record definitely does. It's hard to overlook, but we'll have to wait. But there's a reason why we play these games. It's because we will have to, well, exactly, play them. But before we do that, we will send it to the Spectre Lane, and we will be back very shortly for Game 1 here in Blue Water Diamond, Week 5 between Con Esports and Akuma Sabers. Don't go anywhere.
moving on. And they say I have a grim sense of humor.
く強く輝いて消えた流れ星ほら命が燃える何かに怯え走り続けたその虚しさのしじまに何を見て何を探してきた to hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the fall, oh, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A soul reign of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light. Hearing voices from afar, join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day, we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A soul reign of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants?
And it's been a bit of an extended delay for game 1 here between Con Esports and Akuma Sabers in the Blue Otter Diamond League here in week 5. For those who may have tuned in during the break, I'm Isaac. Alongside me is Stoat. We've had to delay it because league spectator issues popped up again, so we had to wait until the first game finished. And we are watching a full replay of the game. We do not know the results as casters, so we will be watching it here for the first time as well with you, but that was the cause for the extended delay there.
For sure. Don't want to spoil the fun, and we've got
Well,
kind of a
personally,
broken...
I was about to say, personally, we can't, because we have no idea what the results. It's hard for us to spoil the fun if we don't know what the results of said fun was.
Yes.
Hopefully it was quite fun, but we shall see ourselves. Starting up now, we're having pretty standard level 1 so far. So I'll just talk about what we're looking for here for the first few minutes of this game.
For sure, yeah. Everything's pretty tame. I mean, Vi definitely going to want to contest. I do like seeing the Poppy jungle. Definitely a strong counter to this Vi. Vi's going to have a pretty strong early game, as Vi's typically do. But they do need to be careful. I mean, Olaf, if he gets ahead, he will be a menace. And we should really look for that, especially level 6 and beyond. Casante's weak side for a reason.
Yeah, it's a bit of... Since it has been a while, it was a bit of an odd draft for the side of Akuma Sabers, electing to go with that Casante on R4 and instead use that R5 for Blitzcrank here. It is a little bit of an odd lineup for the side of Akuma Sabers, having pre-designated substitutes, Sun and Stars and Katigopor in their respective positions of support and top. So that could definitely change up how they might have wanted to normally go about the draft, and it can throw some wrenches into the works. I'm so used to the British saying of spanner in the works, where we call them wrenches here, and I don't know, spanner just sounds cooler in my opinion. But names of things aside, Mytherium going on a bit of an adventure here to find a gank path here onto the bot lane of Akuma Sabers. 2 flashes for that, nor will the hook even land. So not going to be at a cost of nothing. That's going to be 2 flashes away from the bot lane of Akuma Sabers, and a very strong advantage here within the first 4 minutes to the side of Con Esports.
For sure, 2 for the price of 1, and this Kaisa is a short-range carry. Especially if she pushes up the lane, she's going to have to be very careful. This Poppy will be back. And her stun engage is so strong, especially with a Maokai to root and set it up.
Yeah, I'll consider that does, at the very least, give Rinku a little bit more time and knowledge of where the enemy jungler is. So Mytherium's going to walk up and, oh no! Where's the blue buff? Actually, here in the bush, Rinku perhaps... Actually, no, they would have walked over the ward, so would have known where Mytherium was for that one. Just deciding not to go in on that one. Perhaps you can enlighten me on the like damages or whatnot on why Ranku might have not chosen to do that, because I'm pretty sure Tomi would have been able to get there first as well.
Yeah, definitely. Lysandra had the priority in the lane, and look at the mana pools for LL Cool Jason and Tomi. I mean,
I would not have gone though. Well. Sun and Stars here has roamed into the mid lane. Well, it is, I forget Azir's. That's my bad. That's on me. But yeah.
And Maokai sitting there menacingly, staring at Kaisa.
Well, I mean, that's really all you can do at that point. Kaisa's sitting under tower.
No flash, ghost only. Not much you really can do about this, especially with the Blitzcrank. He's not exactly going to be the best disengaged champion for you. I do seeing Renku
go ahead.
I like seeing Renku take that blue buff. Be proactive, take advantage of that Poppy gank early.
Thank you. Being proactive. I keep getting fooled by these 2 champions. It's one of those things where my brain, I guess, has a hard time telling the future, even though it's so incredibly obvious. Oh, goodness me. I get so excited for things that really shouldn't be because, you know, Lissandra's just going to hop away there. There's no reason why she wouldn't have had that ability available, but anyway.
Yeah, very engaging mid lane. I mean, both these characters have such strong escape tools, and they have them on basic abilities, so it's going to be pretty hard to gank, especially because neither of these. Well, I mean, with the exception of Vi, she can have a pretty strong gank, but pre-level 6, I mean, it's still a lane gank. You're not exactly coming out of the woodwork here, getting anything big, especially with the Zir. There's no real lockdown. It's not like an Ari charm.
Oh! Whoa, Sir Raven going out to use the Ragnarok on a gank that we're kind of focused away of. Rinku had to flash for it, so at the very least, that was a flash for no summoner spells, and once again, that does give knowledge to the opposite junglers to where they are, so they're going to have to try to dive Sir Raven here, finding the damage, going low, going down, first blood, getting picked up by Rinku, but it will be traded for the Cloud Drake as a result.
Yeah, great dive, and perhaps a Void Grub or two going over to Akuma. And it's really well done. Olaf having to use his teleports, that's going to be off for about 6 minutes. Pretty big cooldown, actually. And really don't let this Olaf get going. That is one of the strongest picks on the side of Con Esports. Not to mention, Sir Raven is an excellent carry player, so don't give this guy kills.
Yeah. That being said, you were saying the one grub will be all Rinku will claim for now. But it has caused a response, and maybe Mytherium. I don't believe they would have had vision on moving up for these grubs. Renku's just out of there, and they just might be able to take a two back for themselves. So even though that, you know, the gold from the kill always nice, not exactly on the most. I mean, I guess out of the two, you would rather have it on Vi, but still not the most like. A best user of the gold, I guess is how you would say it in this situation. And considering you take the Drake and it's seemingly at least going to be one grub, it's actually two now that we move back onto it. You know, I don't think you really mind if you're on the side of Akuma Sabers to have lost that, especially since Contigo Poor used their own teleport in response as well to Sir Raven. I honestly don't think Con Esports is feeling too bad about that at all.
No, not at all, especially because this is a team comp where you do want to play slow and steady. You've got Azir, you've got Jinx. These champions are going to scale like monsters. And they're going to have pretty safe keep away ability too.
Yeah, and with the extra gold that Sir Raven will have from the from the extra CS that he has accrued now is actually taking a decent chunk out of Contigo Poor. Going to go pop that Ragnarok, trying to find the kill onto Contigo Poor. Picks up that axe again, gets very low, but the safety of the tower does mean that Sir Raven will have to back off, but only for now. Neither jungler is on this half of the map, so if he does go for a dive, it will be a 1v1 on such very low health on very fine margins. Contigo Poor should start healing back up any second, so that should dissuade any sort of fight there, but yeah. It's one of those things where it's anyway, it's hard to give over to the cardcaster because it's like any second now. Because look, the CC comes in, it's like, does Sir Raven go in on that? He fires one axe off, goes for another, misses that one, but moving over straight to the bottom side, hook won't list, sun and stars going low. All the while, look what I was saying, which is the reason why I wanted to give it back to you, Stoat. There was that any second Sir Raven could potentially find a kill onto Contigo Poor, and right as soon as he does, there's a fight that breaks out in the bot lane, so it's a little bit confused on the directed camera. That being said, here comes Vi, available with ultimate, won't take too much damage here, so won't take that tower angle. We'll try to pick up one plate, notices that he's already dead, and decides instead to pick up that extra 125 gold for himself. Fairly prudent in that situation to just, you know, give up and take the extra goal as opposed to try to fight that one out. Really, very good awareness from Sir Raven.
Oh yeah, Sir Raven, that was an excellent play. He got the gold plate and he got the XP, he got the gold. He's up about 2 minion waves on Cassante, and the waves were setting in the middle. It's going to push back to him by the time he gets to lane. He won't miss too much of this. So all around, great play by Sir Raven, and he's bringing Vi to the top side of the map, which is fantastic. You leave the Jinx alone. She is susceptible to ganks. She's still Jinxed. Although Maokai does help mitigate that, but at the end of the day, she's still Jinxed. and Lysandra has such a strong roam potential. I really like seeing Sir Raven take that aggro top lane.
Yeah, and especially on one of the on the second highest damage rent, I believe you said in this league. What was the stat as well? I know you mentioned it earlier that we need to look out for Sir Raven.
So Sir Raven has impressive stats here. Second highest damage per minute, but 8 gold per minute. So yeah, impressive memory.
Yeah, second highest damage per minute as a top laner. Obviously one of the more standout players of this league so far, and a big reason why Con Esports currently sits at 4-0. Not only has he so far drawn that pressure to him from Renku, he's also been able to work within it and still come out on top. So here from Sun and Stars, though, will start to power up, but yeah, easier things.
Yep, and I do like seeing the vision control for Akuma Sabers, because you do need a lot of vision presence. There's a Poppy on their team.
Sun and Stars, though, speaking of finding Jinx, will miss the hook by quite a bit now. In return, here comes Mytherium. Renku will have to flash away, so a very valuable tool will not be available for Renku in this upcoming probably dragon fight, considering it has just spawned, especially with the positioning now. I'd have to suspect that at any moment we could see a fight break out, but for now, don't.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge cooldown. Vi, when she goes in, she stays in, so they really need to be careful with their fights.
Speaking of going in, though, Toomey will find it onto LL Cool J's. That's Renku going unstoppable. Won't be stopped by that Emperor's Divide. Won't be, well, I guess they were kind of divided in terms of their positioning as a result, but it won't matter either way. Renku picking up that kill, so it will be a kill and a trade of objectives here as Sir Raven opting to go in for these grubs, I think completely alone. Yeah, it is Mytherium on the bottom side of the map, so we'll be able to take one. Knows that they're there. But considering all of the pressure now is currently on this bottom half of the map, we're not... I hate it when teams do this, because it's just a bunch of play-by-play blabbering until now. And that being said, the hook on the dash in, Mytherium, a bit ill-advised, not all that tanky just yet. And when you have 4 members of the team around him and you're so far away from the rest of your own teammates, that Poppy's essentially deleted. I mean, it does at the very least give Sir Raven the knowledge that they need to take away these grubs uncontested, making the grub count 5-1. But yeah, perhaps maybe not the I guess it just might perhaps lack. I know before I send that, that's an overview, but we're not done just yet. Once again, we have blood. Here comes Wrath of WG with the Void Seeker. Cool Jace going low, going down, and well, I know we've been having a lot of talk about Sir Raven up to this point, but if there is another a player on the side of Con Esports who has been doing exceptionally well, LL Cool J, second highest gold per minute in the league, also the top rated mid laner so far. If there's somebody you want to shut down on this hyper carry champion right now, that is going to be LL Cool J. That being said, Hook spotted out, Jed going low, Jed not quite going down, going to pop the exhaust to take the Ignite off, and actually Data caught out, didn't quite have enough damage to find him at the WG. So it is a very well executed hook from Sun and Stars for the 2v2 kill in the bot lane. And now finally, Jed, I think we might have a moment to breathe.
Yeah, and Kai'Sa's up a full item. This is going really well for the bot side. Still, you can't leave Olaf alone to solo farm jungle camps on top of his wave. Cassante couldn't even challenge him at the Gromps. And this Olaf can solo carry the game. If he gets started, he gets rolling, the CC doesn't mean anything to this guy. So, pretty substantial. We can see it's Sir Raven. Hopefully he can carry the game. Otherwise, it's really going to be a matchup between the carries, because right now, Azir, he will get there. He will scale, but he's behind at the moment.
He's quite the distance behind, especially without that extra. Speaking of being behind, Toomey will stun him up. Sun and Stars has a very easy target, and that's another kill going over to the side of Akuma Saber. So far in this game one, if you had the logos turned off and didn't see the names, you would probably be convinced that with how Con Esports has started off their season, that they would actually be on the red side so far. But really, overall, it's just been a good execution of this team composition. so far from the side of Akuma Sabers, especially on this bottom half of the map.
For sure. And LL Cool J's not respecting the pink ward. He stood in that brush. He knew they had complete vision of him. He knew that they had no vision to contest. So just a bit of greed. And this is not his game so far.
Not at all. Definitely uncharacteristic. So, and characteristically, I guess maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I don't want to be, it's one of those things, you want to be too harsh, but then again, but then I think, to be fair, when you said 0-3, within 15 minutes, I think we can say uncharacteristically bad. It's not a very good term I like using, because not only is it just like straight out negative, it's not very descriptive of like of anything, but I feel like this might be the one exception we could make to that term, considering how not great it has gone so far. And speaking of not great, this is not where you want to be. Mytherium Hexgate right to your death. They're fun mechanics to deal with. And hold on, wait, we have fights all over the place. Double kill in the bottom lane, getting another kill onto the Jinx. That being said, you were talking about Sir Raven going wild. Sir Raven now going unstoppable, has lost that Ragnarok. That being said, Contigo Poor has nowhere else to go up until this point. Solo Bolo. It is Sir Raven popping off, so if there is going to be a way back into this game for the side of Con Esports, it will be through their top laner, Sir Raven, as we see him pick up yet another solo kill. The two kills, actually the only 2 kills going over to the side of Con Esports so far has been on Sir Raven, as he takes an entire turret for himself. So I believe it was 3 plates. It's
yeah, this man is swimming in gold.
It will have to be Sir Raven with his 6,800 collective gold and his nearly 1.5k gold lead over Contigo Poor that will have to carry this game for the side of Con Esports, or the game goes 50 minutes and this lead becomes nothing. But for most likely, if we see Con Esports have a way back to this game, it will be on the back of Sir Raven.
Indeed, and I really like how Akuma Sabers is playing to their win conditions. They know they need the vision early. You cannot let Poppy have control of brushes. They're clearly playing for dragons, playing for bot side, and they open up the bot side of the map.
Speaking of opening up the bot side of the map, sending 2 people top to find Contigo Poor will definitely do that. 3, actually, don't mind me. Sir Raven going to pick up yet another kill with the assist of his teammates. Perhaps a little bit overkill on that. Admittedly, they will be able to try to answer this top lane tier 2 for the bot lane tier 2 that went down earlier. Now Toomey having used that teleport. That being said, the rest of the team still not gone. Object permanence, not quite one that Toomey is aware of, and now with the health bar so low, Sir Raven will be picking up a shutdown, a massive shutdown nonetheless. So all 4 kills going onto the side of Sir Raven. That being said, here comes the rest of the team. The WG will be the only one here available now, finding Rinku, going onto the enemy jungler. Mytherium goes low. Mytherium does finally go down. Sir Raven now the target shut down onto Rat the WG. That's going to be an extra 200 gold, actually 300 now, going over to the side of the ADC of Con Esports. So even though it has been Sir Raven dominating, he's going to give over a lot of gold. As a result, Rinku continuing going through with this fight, and anyone else who's caught and hanging around will almost certainly go down. At the very least, this does give LL Cool J's a little bit of time here in the bottom lane to take up the tier 1. That being said, dominant fight from the side of Akuma Sabers just as soon as we were singing the praises of Sir Raven.
Yeah, I mean, good job on Khan for responding. Good job on Akuma for responding to that. Granted, it looked a little scuffed in the beginning. There was a bit of miscommunication. Lysandra was there on her own. No one on our team was there to respond. But they clean up well, and they get the mid turret, tier 1, to respond. So we can imagine they're going to go for this top lane, tier 1, to open up the map gradually and get themselves a really strong advantage for vision. And you can see that they set up this great diagonal line of vision, starting from the top side, going all the way to the bot side jungle, and I love to see that.
Yeah, and you're talking about requiring that vision. A team composition, even though they're not doing so great right now, it would probably have trouble just because of gold. Walking into that vision, you're on the side of Akuma Sabers. They're definitely going to need that extra time to see. Speaking of vision, LL Cool J's will be spotted out here on a ward, C ward, kill ward. That being said, Wrath of WG will have to flash over. Data is here with the locket to keep LL Cool J's alive, just in case. I believe that there wasn't any more damage to actually have taken down the mid laner of Con Esports anyway, but never helps to have a friend there when they're in need. And we'll say alive for now, but really that's all it is. That being said, flash down for Rat the WG. Oh, excuse me. Now, so at the very least, there's one person who does need to be targeted. It is this 4-0 Kaisa. And without that flash, going to be a lot more vulnerable to any... Oh my gosh, why am I burping a lot? Help me out here, Stoat.
Yeah, well, I'll come in for the assist. Speaking of Wrath WG, we were talking in pregame lobby about how this Kaisa may go the poke variety, but she's so fed. I like to see that she's going crit build, especially because crit items were buffed recently. So that's going to be very helpful for closing out this game if they play their cards right. And so far, Sabers have been playing their cards right. They've been playing patiently. They've been playing the map, which is what you need to do because you cannot have this Olaf pop off. I know I keep repeating it, but again, that champion does so much work in these team fights. Granted, Cassante is going to be building defensive items, and they are cheaper. So there is a saving grace there, and he's not that far behind in farm. Granted, I mean, all things considered, he's doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, being left alone, mostly left alone in the side lane, especially if you are Rinku, who did visit up there a few times early on, has been mostly left to eat the brunt of the force of this fed Olaf in the side lanes. So as you're saying, considering that that's the situation he's been in, Mytherium getting a little bit far up. There, Sun Stars. Yeah.
But the mid lane matchup, that is not looking so hot for the Azir. He's down half an item. So Lissandra is going to be a menace in team fights.
Yeah.
And again, they have a Jinx, and Jinx is so susceptible to all-in CC, of which they have 4 champions that can just go all-in with the Kaisa.
Speaking of going all-in, Mytherium is not very tanky at all, considering the items, not even a full item. That being said, off the map, Shutdown going on to the Jinx, so if there is a... There is one champion you know we've been saying this a lot, is that Jinx can always scale back into it. If you do give a 500 gold Shutdown over to Jinx, that just might, you know, I didn't even think about this, but, I guess
Isaac, that's a caster curse if I've ever seen one.
It was the caster curse if I ever seen one. I was about to say rocket her into this game, and I just realized, I wasn't even intentional, I just hate myself now.
Hey, we love good puns here.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. They're funny when you intend it, but then when you realize what you've done, it's like the amount of psychological damage I've committed to both the audience and myself as a result. Wait, hold on. Speaking of damage, that is a key target that you want to find. And now, as a result, Sir Raven does try going in, but Sir Raven is separated from the rest of the team. Rinku does find the kill, and the rest of the fight, there's nothing really else that the side of Akuma Sabers can do now that they're down 2. We're at the WG, trying to find the kills. Cool Jace gets that one, but goes a little bit too far. Is traded kill as a result, so kill at the very least does go on to Jed, picking up yet another kill, getting that extra bit of gold that Jed will need to start to get these items. So overall fight win over to the side of Akuma Sabers, but once again it's another kill onto this Jed, who sneakily with those, I mean, in total those 2 kills would have been about 1,500 gold alone, might be able to almost be comparable to other members of the side of Akuma Sabers. So still, I'd still say that the ball is still in the court of Akuma Sabers, but sneakily Jed has acquired the amount of gold to perhaps, well, propel them into the late game here, just maybe.
Indeed, and we have to see, because this Kaisa is coming close to her 3rd item, where she just becomes an absolute menace. And, you know, during the pregame lobby, I was a bit skeptical about the Blitzcrank prick, but Sun and Stars really showing what he can do on a champion, getting an excellent hook onto the Azir, who was already behind and had his spell shield down early in that fight. There's just so many abilities he needs to dodge to keep that shield up.
Yeah, a lot of long range abilities, especially that Void Seeker that can proc it from well more than a screen away, about almost two actually. And just coming in as a surprise. But yeah, Sun and Stars definitely has been able to find a few key hooks in these moments. Speaking of Sun Stars finding key hooks, trying to find his way onto Jed will go a little bit wide, but I don't think it'll matter. Rat the WG will find the kill. It's currently a 3v2 as here comes Sir Raven at the very least, but I stand corrected. This is why you look at your mini-maps, kids.
Oh boy.
It's a
That's
whole
no
entire
good.
team of Akuma Sabers nearby. I got baited by that one. Mostly because, like I said, this is why you look at the mini-maps. This is the notes you take for your own solo queue games. That in that bottom right-hand corner right there. It's available to you. It's available to everybody. Look at it, and you'll be able to tell the future, apparently unlike myself.
Yeah, well, no one here is a scrying orb available at the moment, so not much future telling here. The Baron's definitely going over to Sabers. Very good, protecting the mid lane and getting the objective. That was a great play, great snatch, and they're looking to close out this game. Sabers are trying to make a name for themselves tonight. That's fantastic to see. Blitzcrank looking for another hook. He's just mad. He's threatening. He's not going to do it. I wouldn't want to pull the Olaf either.
Yeah, not really anyone you want to find there. Even if they do find Jed, LL Cool J will be able to follow up. Sir Raven runs at you, and the rest of your team isn't there. So it would have been funny to see. Admittedly, it would have been kind of funny to see Sun and Stars run up, hook Jed, die as a result. But yeah, realistically, definitely the smart decision to not do that from Sun and Stars, as much to my dismay.
In Con, Esports has to be careful because strong as Olaf may be with his ult, this Kaisa has 3 items working on her 4th. She can melt that champion.
Hello, Cool J. So once again, here's Rinku, just really so far behind, completely out of this one. No spell shield, and actually, not only is it Rinku, it's the whole entire team. Once again, that being said, it is a bit of an odd decision because that does open up this mid lane, and to take at least 1 tower, maybe even 2. I guess they might train the top lane tier 2 with this Baron. I mean, they do have Toomey who had recalled, but that will be trade of tier 2s. But the mid lane tier 2 is honestly such a big one. I'm not quite sure what the decisions are here. They're continuing to push. Perhaps, yeah, there's another one in return for Contigo 4, but we've got maybe even a base race on our hands. Fight breaking through. Contigo 4 going low. Contigo 4 finally dropping. There he goes. So that does open up the mid lane inhibitor. Finally, the recalls are coming through from the side. Toomey will find 4 and keep himself alive for just a little bit longer, and a lot of damage, and out we go. That being said, Jed caught by the cooldown of the Hex Gates. Sir Raven as well, nowhere to go, will run as fast as he can, pops that ghost. Rat the WG does not have the killer instinct anymore, but teleport's coming through. This fight is all split up around the whole entire map. Data won't have a way out. If they can find the CC onto this support, which I imagine, considering the direction he is running, should eventually get taken down. Eventually. There we go. Will be taken down. It was inevitable. There we go. Finally.
Yeah. In the base race, that was a bit of a strange play, although the top inhibitor are definitely a lot more valuable, especially on Soul Drake now. And they're going to get that Hex Tech Soul, which is going to be so great for these team fights. These champions, aside from Azir, don't have the best mobility. So having that AoE slow is going to really pay off, especially when you have a Lissandra and a Vi for lockdown on your team.
That would have been funny. I would have laughed. I would have maybe died of asphyxiation as a result of laughter if that actually went through, because that would have been the ultimate caster curse that I've maybe ever seen. At least the ultimate immediate caster curse. Obviously, there's the fun one. The fun caster curses are the really long-term ones in like 50-minute games when somebody says something at like minute 5, and it really comes back to bite them. But curses aside, that, as you were saying, that does give the Hextech Drake over to the side of Akuma Sabers for relatively nothing, honestly. And as you were saying, that is going to be a massive boon for the side of Akuma Sabers. Massive, I'd say the strongest soul in the entire game acquired by Akuma Sabers on top of their already accrued lead.
Yeah, I agree. The Hextech Drake is so strong. Lots of damage, lots of slowing. And they're going to really love having that for the upcoming Baron fight. They're going to have to set up with this Baron in approximately a minute and a half. And we can see Sabers taking the jungle and setting up that vision line ahead of time, making sure they're dotting their I's and crossing their T's here.
Yeah, I mean, other than this lone control ward in their bush at the jungle entrance in the bot side of the map, there is not really anything that Con Esports currently has. Obviously, a few blue trend kids starting to come back online now, so they might be able to get some immediate vision if they can in a potential upcoming dragon fight. But with all these waves pushing in simultaneously, it will be troubling for them to maybe even find defense for this mid lane tower. As they do grab that. Now here, go ahead.
I mean, Sabers need to be careful, though, because they still have an Azir in their team, and that guy has such good flank potential. That champion, incredibly good at flanking, and if he gets that flank, that's a game-changing fight they could win. And Kaisa is so short range, especially in Vi as well, you really can't risk that.
You say that, but like on what ward?
Yeah, well, I guess when your base is in shambles.
I pose the question on what ward will they find the flank, but do they even need the flank? Fight breaking in, all of this utility used early on from the side of Con Esports. They will find Renku, but that is it for now. Toomey going golden. Consigo Poor now finally going down. That being said, WG still alive, still healthy. Killer Instinct finds one. Flash word from Sun and Stars trying to find Jed, but I don't think this will matter. WG will pick up another. That'll be a triple kill, quadra kill onto WG. Being, I believe that might even be his second quadra kill this this split, making him the sole holder of most quadra kills, especially if they can find LL Cool J's. This might even be our first pentakill of the entire Blue Water Diamond season. But no, they will just peel off there. Not try to push their luck any further, even though, honestly, yeah, no, at the WG, you know, sometimes you forget to look at health bars. And this is the reason why when I played ranked, I was gold.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on. It's 10 people, abilities flying, and not exactly the best, not the easiest visuals to follow. That said, though, that was a great fight. Toomey opening up so much space in that fight, allowing the Kaisa, who's so far ahead, to just front to back and fight that in peace, which that is really what you need, because this Olaf, yeah, he may be strong, but he's one champion, and he still can't just stand there and tank Kaisa auto attacks all day.
Yeah, especially with little help from his friends. It's still immune to that CC, but with Kaisa obviously being able to go invisible, wait, hold on, this isn't over just yet. Super Mega Death Rocket will find one. It will be claimed by Akuma Sabers. Ethereum going low, going down very early on in this fight. That Emperor's Divide won't stop the Divide from going forward. Toomey picks up that kill, and now there's just nothing really you can do on the side of Con Esports. Game 1. A fairly dominant performance from the side of Akuma Sabers. There were a handful of moments where it looked like Con Esports could maybe find something, but a clean ace here to close out this first game is a very big statement from Akuma Sabers against the only team so far that is yet to drop a series, and they'll take game 1, and yeah, in a fairly dominant fashion with only 2 of their regular starters, even. Not 2 of their regular starters, 3 of their regular starters, 2 substitutes. My mistake.
Yeah, and I really want to emphasize how well Akuma played to their win condition. They got the vision down early. They played those fights so well. They focused bot side, and they did not let top side lose too hard. He was a weak side laner. He was bound to lose that matchup, especially against Sir Raven, who's just a powerhouse.
Yeah, really well played by Akuma Sabers. Hopefully they can carry that momentum into game 2 and be the first one to prove that Con Esports can in fact be taken out, that they are vincible? I mean, what's the opposite of mortal? That they are mortal. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. There we go. English is a language that I definitely know. linguistics aside, we will see you for the draft in game 2, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back for that.
Keep moving on. Keep moving on. And they say I have a grim sense of humor.
強く強く輝いて消えた流れ星ほら命が燃える何かに怯え走り続けたその虚しさのしじまに何を見て何を探してきた自分の声がただ響く幾千万の星の中で惹かれて出会った守り手たちよ回る回る時の輪の中で自分の弱さ強さの先に同じ空誰かが見上げてるそう信じて消されない虹の奇跡が届けと冷たい指で涙拭ったあの日にはもう帰れない水平線目指して飛び立つ自分の願いを抱いて幾千万の星に呼ばれ交わりすれ違う守り手たちよ回る回る時に抗って未来を願ってもいいですか儚さから目をそらしたぐりせる道の兆しの向こうかける希望あなたの光あなたの命いたずらに知らさないようにそっとくれた記憶胸に熱く灯し約束の地へもう振り返らずに恋願う歌は空高く世界に銀河に広がってくそれがいつか風となり消えて新たな日が始まる越えてゆく時の輪の中で確かに刻みつけたきらめき同じ空誰かが見上げてる信じたから消されない虹の奇跡の
And because of a little bit of difficulty, not only with the league client right now for a hot second there, DraftLol also was having a lot of troubles. We are finally back for game 2, and we already have the drafts done in advance. Unfortunately, we don't get the excitement of drafts as it can go occasionally. That being, I've just talked about this in the behind scene. I need to stop saying that being said a million times. That considered, we were saying I do like Bard. I like Bard because he's a fun champion. That's my incredible, insightful knowledge. Fun champ. Let's win with that, guys. Let's go.
It's a fun champ, and he's got such insane mobility. He can really help top lane out and snowball Raven. I'm sorry. Let me remind myself
right.
what his name was.
Sir,
Raven.
it is Sir Raven. Sir Raven. Officially knighted by the King of England. You can quote us on that. That is an absolute fact. Yeah, he's playing all the way from the EU West servers. That's just how good he is on the 600 ping that he gets. He's just that's what needs to stop him. But no, one thing I do find interesting with Akuma Sabers is that they fully leaned into we're going to give Contigo Poor the weak side and opting to go Orin on B3 instead is something that you don't see very often, but considering how it worked out for them last game, I don't dislike it, oddly enough.
Yeah, and they have to be so careful because if this Gwen gets ahead, she can solo lane against 3 people easy. I mean, this champion is absurd, especially when she starts snowballing. And I do like the Ornn and the Thresh pick though, and I especially like the Lee Sin because, yeah, Bard is awesome. He's so strong with Ash Arrow and Nocturne especially, but if things don't go smoothly on the engage, there's so much counter engage and peel for Akuma.
Well, we will just have to wait and see until then, but because it is a bit of delay and because we have a bunch of spectator issues, we can actually get right to that right now. We don't have to have a spectator delay this time. There we go, right then and there. Voila. One of the very few advantages we have for having these extremely long delays at this point is that there we go. Right there. This is new tech. This is we don't have to wait for a spectator to learn anymore. This is so speaking of not waiting for a moment, we just might have some level 1 shenanigans from the side of Akuma Sabers.
Oh, for sure. But Akuma needs to be careful. If Veigar gets a cage, that is not a position you want to be in level 1. Granted, it's not the strongest move in the world for laning, but I mean, if you're gonna get caught in early game shenanigans, that is such a strong ability.
Actually, after that went through, it was less so trying to start some early game shenanigans, and it was more so trying to predict some early game shenanigans. And honestly, that's a bit understandable. I would say a lot stronger level 1 from the side of Akuma, not Akuma Sabers, of Con Esports. You get a slow on data, Jed's auto attacks, and just abilities generally. Excuse me, not going to feel good if LL Cool J did in fact level Cage for that. I mean, won't now because there weren't any shenanigans, but in the hypothetical, you definitely have a lot more strength for that, any sort of level 1 tete-a-tete, as it were.
Yeah,
but no, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Now Cool Juice has to be very careful. Veigar is not so strong early, especially not into an Ahri. And with a Lee Sin, this jungle mid duo is really strong, has a lot of early game tempo.
Yeah, Lee Sin definitely going to start to pick up there. That being, and also not that being said, as well, furthermore, Rinku is very much a Lee Sin enjoyer, so being able to get his favored champion there under their belt, that's going to feel really good if they can start to accelerate this game, especially saying that Ahri or the spot lane getting Jinx a few kills early on. Going to feel extremely good with that, as you mentioned, the counter engage that can come out from the side of I was about to say Con Esports, but it's actually Akuma Sabers. Definitely can deal a lot of damage on the second end of fights. But if you ever get like that, and like not only just in League of Legends, but like any sort of like sports, like when I watch soccer, sometimes my brain forgets to flip sides at halftime.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wait, why are we going this way? Speaking of why are we going this way, we have a gank towards the mid lane. We're moving this way because there's an opportunity. Toomey going to go low. Toomey not going to finally go down, actually. That being said, Mytherium going to take a lot of damage in return. Will Rinku find damage? Yes, he will. LL Cool J, though, has all the health available. Will get a transfer of double buffs. And now that's LL Cool J's on the Veigar. Going to have double buffs, as he recalls, and those 2 kills under their belt. Going to feel really nice for any sort of... He's going to recall with first blood, gold, and a 2nd kill. Oh my goodness, that's going to feel really good on top of those double buffs.
If anything can help you propel you into the mid game, it's getting 2 kills before 5 minutes. So that's excellent job from LL Cool Jace, and that's going to be really tough for Ari. You do not want this Veigar to stack his Q, and he's going to have that on perma spam. So, and he's got a tier. So, yeah, good luck handling that, and good luck handling his shove.
Speaking of good luck handling things, Mytherium's going to be caught out for a bit here. Sun and Stars is already here, going to give a little shield from the Lantern 3v2. That being said, Sun and Stars is going to miss that by a country mile, but it won't matter. Mytherium going low. Wrong side of the map. Mytherium probably eventually got... Mytherium...
No
boost. The Sun and Stars does claim that. I guess...
Not ideal going on Thresh, but...
Yeah.
Secure the kill when you can. That guy gets pretty, I mean, Nocturne gets pretty fast on his, I don't even remember what the ability is called, but his, you know, his little Void Ooze, he's pretty fast, and Lee Sin Q wasn't up for another couple seconds, and you don't want to whiff that skill shot and give a free kill away.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely, you know, I know Kill Secure is a bit of a meme, and it does it makes it hard to say that he did in fact secure the kill there, when that it is true that the kill was indeed secured by Sun and Stars, because well, it is a funny, admittedly, I do like myself a good kill secured meme every now and then. I won't lie. It does make it very difficult casting sometimes, though. And that's a prime example of it.
For sure, but it's a good lesson for solo queue. Don't flame if your support gets the kill and it's a kill secure. Sometimes it's legitimate. Sometimes it is a big grief, but I don't think so in this case. And now we're seeing Bard doing what Bard does. He's going to roam topside, and this Ornn needs to be super careful. They're going to get these grubs and maybe look for a dive. The wave's in a good position for it.
It would be an incredible dive if they have pulled this one. If they do pull this one off, but considering where Data is going, unless if Mytherium levels up off this, I'd be very surprised to see a dive. I mean, it's evidently doable, especially if Lee Sin does show up on the map anywhere. But all things considered, this is more than likely just going to be a trade of consectives, considering Rinku's heading straight for that Ocean Drake, and I imagine in a few seconds here that will exactly be the case.
Indeed. Well, Dragon going over to Jinx. That's good. I mean, Ocean Drake early, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It will help Ari out. She's got some natural sustain through her passive, so that helps, especially when you're down in lane. But that being said, this Veigar it's going to be a real problem later in the game. His cage is so strong in team fights, especially because Ari really wants to have free reign when she's flying around, and that's a great way to stop her in her tracks, especially when there's near sight with Nocturne's ult. It can be really difficult to navigate these fights.
And that will be the thing we have to look out for, is especially, I think Paranoia has the most name in the entire game out of any ability.
I'm sorry, you cut out. The most what name?
Oh, the most ops name out of any ability in the game. Paranoia, Nocturne's ult.
Oh yeah, it's honestly a terrifying ability, just aesthetically and knowing what's coming. It's just definitely a clencher ability for sure.
Yeah, I don't think there will ever be a more yeah, well, I wouldn't say apt again, but sometimes English is a difficult language and only some words are in your head. That being said, Rinku should have the lantern here. Jed is now behind the minion wave, recognizes that long before it happens. Perhaps a little bit too early from Sun and Stars on that lantern there, on the Pat something Pat. I can't remember. It's the lantern. We all it's the lantern. Yeah, it's the lantern. Yeah.
I want to say Dark Passage, though. Listen, don't quote me on that.
No, when you hover over the W ability on Thresh, it's whatever the actual name is, but scratched out, and it's crossed out, and just next to it says the lantern, because
Just straight to the point, right?
yeah, it's. I mean, what? You know it. You know it. I mean, what else is it? It's the lantern. It's like Zig Z is minefield, right? Yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of things coming through to me, going to miss the charm, or maybe it was hit by the spell shield that Nocturne does get. LL Cool J's going to get a little. Oh wait, hold on. That's
really interesting tech. I love to see.
I mean,
the
it does save them there. Don't get me wrong. Shirelia's referee. Whatever Shirelia gets. Or yeah, whatever Shrelia gets as their title or thing that they give, they will have to keep in line for now. Paranoia does come through. Miriam though, going to go low, but no knowledge as to where the enemy jungler is. To me now on the wrong side of the map, trying to find the jungler. I feel like Ethereum should have just gotten out of there. Will it matter? No, it won't. Wait, hold on, that will matter. Super Mega Death Rocket out of nowhere from halfway across the map, snipe. So at the very least, we'll turn this, get one kill in return, just out of the blue. Whoa. Wrap the WG. All right.
Wrath saving that. There was a bit of miscommunication there. Lee Sin saving Nocturne by accident and knocks him away from Ahri. So you don't like to see that, but Wrath coming in clutch with a snipe from downtown. Excellent.
I feel it's probably less so of a miscommunication and more so a misjudgment of damage, which is a little bit uncharacteristic considering the, oh wait, hold on. Speaking of uncharacteristic, Jed going, well, I mean, you gotta try, I guess. Data now. Probably just going to Magical Journey out of here. Yep. And, going to be a kill onto the enemy ADC, so Jinx now picking up, well, not quite 2 kills, as that one did go over to Sun and Stars, but this bot lane, maybe not the sole story of the game last time out, but looking like it might, at the very least, be a very prominent one of Game 2 here once again for the side of Akuma Sabers. Wait, wait. Did you see that kill? I didn't.
The kill on Ashe?
Onto Ahri. Toomey died.
I did not. No, I missed it completely, and Wrath almost getting a second snipe.
I'd have to assume that was probably a solo kill with just the Shirelia's Reverie, and this Veigar going forward one absolute nightmare scenario if you're playing Ahri as a red Veigar. Yeah, that's I don't know how to expound off that other than yikes.
I mean, yikes is an apt word to describe that. This is an anti-mage champion, and he's got 4 kills. So this is going to be a rough lane for Ahri.
Yeah, already 1k gold down against their laner here at 10 minutes, which, honestly, not all that great considering that the gold is fairly level here. It's not all, even though this is not a great situation to be if you're on Toomey. At the very least, you are getting a lot of gold onto your ADC, nearly actually over 20 CS up on the enemy Ashe. Excuse me. Wow, I'm very burpy tonight. Pardon me for that. Going to be feeling really good on the enemy ADC, probably a byproduct of Bard not being nearby very much, and just Bard gaming in general. That being said, oh no, the flash does not drop the tempered fate. Here comes the paranoia. Ethereum should claim this kill. No, they'll leave it to Jed. Not the. I mean, you do give it to the ADC at the very least, but we're not actually. Hold that thought. Not going to land the stun there on the Bard. Ult no longer available. Tempered Fate not up at all. He has seen it used, so it is a currently 4v3 for this second Drake as we line up for this. But the side of Akuma Sabers not quite going to give it up. Mega Death Rocket flying in. We'll find damage on the Ethereum. There's a steal. Going to be claimed by Renku, so at the very least they do take the first 2 Drakes here, but all the while something that didn't quite get picked up was the 5th Grub going over to the side of Akuma Sabers, all the while single-handedly getting picked up by Sir Raven.
Yeah, a bit of a flip from last game. And that Ari, I mean, to me, was really overstepping. They did not have priority on that dragon. And, you know, Veigar's super fed.
Beating not by overstepping. Jed going to be locked in by the box. Going to go low. Ignite going to tick. Ignite not going to kill. That being said, won't matter. Wrath the WG gets a kill onto Data. And that will be it for now. But with how low this ADC is, Jed we'll have to call over Mytherium, but now Mytherium's the only one in the spot lane who will be spotted on that upgraded Scryer's Bloom on this Kimtech map. And once again, more plates going over to the side of Wrath the WG. So even though mid lane might not be going out for Akuma Sabers, this is one fed Jinx taking all 5 plates here in the bottom lane. Well, it is shared to be fair, but nonetheless, that is a lot of gold onto a member of the team that you absolutely want it to go onto.
If there's an AD carry you don't want to feed, it's Jinx. He is phenomenally strong in the meta right now. Though, Veigar doing work.
My goodness, that was like 4 abilities, and that's Tumi's health bar almost completely gone. Sun and Stars arriving to show some solidarity there and to be sure that his mid laner can recall safely. But either way, this game's starting to pan out. The story of this game's looking like it'll be either at the WG picking out the big damage for his team, or it'll be LL Cool Jace. Both players very capable of that. LL Cool Jace definitely didn't have the greatest game last time out, but was kind of intentionally targeted and shut down. This time not so much around, and he's been given free reign on this counter pick and working really well with it. Hold on, Paranoia drop. Going to be the ADC found. Enchanted Crystal Arrow won't land though. Rapid WG alive only for now. Does finally go down. Ranku low. The Orin Horn will be called, but it won't be enough. Health bar is only somewhat low, and Toomey is not doing all that great for themselves. Toomey may have just stepped up too far. Data will find the stun. LL Cool J's outplay, not enough. Not quite fully outplayed there. And we'll be alive just for now, but we'll have to recall once again, going to delay any sort of gold or experience that Toomey will be able to get here in the mid lane. Not going to feel all that great, and this is where I accuse the fact of how similarly named they are to Mui, that Toomey's actually regularly a top laner, to be in fairness.
Now, oh. Let's see what's going to happen here. A bit of a cheeky dive. I can't imagine.
I can't imagine they would. Yeah, I can't imagine with just a bard that they would dive onto. I mean, I guess you drop the Tempered Fate. It's not even back up, so yeah, no.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a free Rift Herald. That Veigar dominating the fight, controlling so much space the entire time. And it's going to be really hard for Jinx to be able to walk up and do damage in these fights with Veigar. He's got a Shurelya's Battle Song. And he's super fed. Second item complete already. 15 minutes in the game.
Secretly, something that we haven't quite mentioned so much so far in this game is the fact that Sir Raven is 2-0 on the Squid and did a decent amount of damage in that last fight. Certainly helped out a lot. And we said that Shurelya's Reverie, that's certainly going to help out a lot for this Squid as well. So not only is LL Cool J doing an insane amount of damage, forcing the Spirit Rush out of Toomey there. He's also going to be able to empower this Gwen with the speed, which is exactly what you want. Toomey going to have to dodge out that baby cage. Should be able, I mean, yeah, that's what it's called, right?
the official ability name.
Yeah, it's like it's the actual name crossed out, and then when you hover it on the tooltip, crossed out, and next to it says baby cage.
Yeah, there's nothing comforting at all about that cage, though.
Well, neither are real baby cages. They're not supposed to be comforting. Have you seen those things?
Wow, not for a long time, admittedly.
Yeah, honestly, same. But that doesn't mean I haven't forgotten them. I remember I was there when I was no, I mean, I don't remember firsthand experience of those.
Listen, I'd be very impressed if you could.
Yeah, so would I, but unfortunately I cannot impress myself in this scenario this time around. That being said, speaking of scenarios, we do have set up for a potential dragon fight. At the very least, if you are not Con Esports, if you are Akuma Sabers, you do have positioning for this Drake. Going to find Data. Going to give himself 11 Tempered Fate for now. Going to have to force a flash out of the enemy Jinx on top of the enemy ADC, but only taken down to half health, so still going to be feeling okay with us. The 5-staff instead of who isn't going to be feeling okay is Toomey. At least, well, actually, he might be feeling okay. Kantigo Poor is still full health throughout the WG. Still a decent amount of health themselves. Dragon not started up just yet. Probably going to be able to get a little bit off this mid lane. Still not over, just if we remember last time that it was, in fact, that Dragon steal that caused us out. No vision on the Lee Sin. Won't be able to steal it this time around. So it will be the first straight going over to the side of Akuma Sabers, and everybody just pops out of there. No problems whatsoever.
Good attempt by Renku, but it's so hard because Veigar, again, he's controlling so much space. And what I love to see that LL Cool Juice is doing is every fight he's forcing Ahri to use her ult defensively. And that's huge because you don't want your immobile carries to fall to this Ahri charm. And they're saying, no, you can't play the team fight the way you want to. They have so many damage carries with Nocturne going on the back line, causing so much distraction. And a speed boosted Gwen and Veigar, that's going to be a difficult wall of damage to try to overcome.
Yeah, and we saw it with that last fight, even though, or I guess quote unquote fight, since nobody really. The most we got was a few health bars taken down to half. But I think the fact that it wasn't even a fight speaks more to volumes of how Con Esports have managed to control this game so far, at least in the last 7 or so minutes. That really all Akuma Sabers can do for now is just react to them.
Absolutely, and it is so well done to have this line of vision spread for Con Esports, and that's just the luxury you get when you're so far ahead.
Speaking of luxury, Cleanse is going to have to be used. Here comes the Paranoia Data trying to come in to support, and coming down. Mytharium does find kill. Sir Raven actually going to be the one claiming it. So 2 for nothing on that Paranoia. High value ultimate there. Once again, kills going on to Sir Raven. 4-0 on the Squin. Was a little bit quiet early on, a bit surprising considering they were playing the Gwyn and Orin matchup. You may have expected a little bit more coming out. At least a little bit more action coming out from that top lane and not be as even as it was. But as these fights have started, it has been all Akuma Sabers. It has been all LL Cool J's. Or maybe not all LL Cool J's. That's a little bit unfair to Mytharium. That being said, we're going to try to kind of find a fight here. Hook landing onto Data going low, but that is only support going down. Contigo Poor lost his whole health bar now, and out goes the rest of the remaining members of Akuma Sabers, at least for now. We're not out of here just yet. Toomey doesn't have the Spirit Rush anymore. They have low enough health bars though, and not a lot of ultimates left available on the side of Con Esports, so they will have to hightail it out, but they will have to hightail it out of there to prevent any further losses. And honestly, it would be have been a bit of embarrassment if Akuma Sabers found any sort of angle there to find a fight.
Yeah, no, it certainly would. It'd take a massive misplay from Khan, and they did stop the Baron. That was great, but they still lost the fight. I mean, all that dropped was Bard, and he's not exactly the priority target on this team. And they're going to have control of the Dragon Pit now. It's going to be so hard for Blue Side to contest the Dragon just by nature of the way the map is structured, especially when you are struggling to get your foothold in the game. The tempo is just so much in control for Khan.
Yeah, at the very least, Lee Sin is on this half of the map. They can try to establish some vision for the upcoming Drake in a minute and a half. And if they do somehow manage to find it, they do put themselves on soul point. With that caveat that they do find a way into the Baron Pit? Yeah, you take Dragon at Baron Pit. That's how the game works, of course. Everyone knows that. Enchantress going just wide. But no, if they do find a way into the Dragon, they do find a way to claim that Dragon, at least they will have a point of pressure against Con Esports. That being said, they didn't get any vision down for that, or at least not much of it for that. And with it coming up in under a minute now, you'd have to feel that Akuma Sabers really have a tight grip on this game. So, I mean, yeah, outside of that, what else is there for the side of Akuma Sabers?
Yeah, really they have to look for a pick. I mean, you do have the Ari, you do have the Lee Sin, and you do have Thresh. So there is that. There's always the potential to get a good pick on a champion, so you can never count that out. Still, it's an Ocean Soul, so there's also that saving grace. It's not the best Drake in the world for Khan.
Ranku got very close to getting hit by that baby cage for a second there.
Oh yeah, playing on the edge.
Yeah.
There's only way for Lee Sin to play.
That is true. I won't disagree with you there. See, these are the moments that I dislike most as a play-by-play caster, because we're so close to a fight, but it's also yet so far away from like any fight happening that if any team tries to start one, it's probably ill-advised. And you want to send it over to your color caster, but as soon as that happens, we get a Tempered Fate getting used. Won't find anybody though. A Chancellor Arrow will find its way onto only the Horn. That being said, here's an isolated jungler kick away. Ranku staying alive for now. So here comes the counter engage that we were mentioning. If there is ever the opportunity for the side of Akuma Sabers for them to find a fight here, they will find the enemy jungler. Mytharium taking down half health. Play coming through. Going to get a strong zoning here from that box for now. Not quite a baby cage, but still nonetheless those slows, and it can also do a very surprising amount of damage, but now with that no longer available, we will continue on. No jungler from Mytharium, no ult on that Nocturne, so full vision available. Horn called, they're lining up perfectly for it. We'll find 3. Charm lands on to LL Cool J's. Going to have to pull out the locket there for the shield. And that being said, a few counter engage. Once again, Charm onto LL Cool J's going to have to pull up the Shrelios. So still more and more tools going to be used on the side of Khan Esports. They'll keep themselves alive, but as they use more and more of these tools, less and less of them will become available for their fight. And I don't think Akuma Sabers will mind as much if they can find the angle, if they can find a fight onto somebody who they want. They can definitely start to turn this game back around. They will find their way onto Sir Raven. That being said, Paranoia right back up. Paranoia going to be used onto the Thresh. Sun and Star is going to be healthy for now. Sir Raven taken low, and now with that down, once again, Mytharium uses that, but won't find a lot of value out of it. Unlike before, Flash Death Sentence won't be signed and sealed, nor delivered there onto Mytharium. That being said, to me here now. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So that fight took so long that we're able to see multiple of the same ultimates used over and over again. It's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, Toomey won't have Spirit Rush again because they used it right at the beginning of the fight. Well, it's actually like a 40-second cooldown, and that fight was long enough to where we were able to see it again. So
that's the strength of that Imperial Mandate, right? Definitely helping with the cooldown reduction there. Huge for Ari. And honestly, I really like the way Akuma played around that dragon. It looked pretty bad at first. Lee Sin chunked to half health early on before the real fight even started, but they managed to pick it back up and play around Veigar's baby cage.
Yeah, and LL Cool J definitely started getting a little bit too greedy there in those fights. Stepping up really far, tanking at least 2 charms that I saw, for sure, like 2 confirmed charms. And that took, and as soon as LL Cool J went down low on health as a result of those abilities landing, there was not much that Khan Esports could do in that fight. But it is still a very tough condition for Akuma Sabers to find at this point. But they are on Soul Point. Also, wait, no, it's not. No, it is Kimtek Soul. Actually, speaking of also, but we have a fight coming through. Tempered Fate will find Smountain Tower, but I don't believe that was necessary. The wise decision from Data. Mytharium going down. Now, numbers advantage. Jed not moving over to the magical journey, so will be chunked low. But here comes LL Cool Jace, and out goes the rest of Akuma Sabers, finding 1 for nothing. So good pick for Akuma Sabers, starting to slowly claw themselves back into this one. It was only like 6 or 7 minutes ago that we're saying, how does Akuma Sabers find their way back to this one? Well, they have absolutely found it. And actually, they're turning onto the Baron here.
Oh, yeah, and honestly, that's great. They're playing to exactly the win condition they need to. They need to look for these picks, and the gold lead has evaporated, and now they're on Baron, and this is not looking so great.
It's going to be difficult to find a way into this Baron pit, especially on the red side. LL Cool J's going low, going down to bring Shrelios and the Locket. Forward coming through. It is a massive fight. They will be fine 3 immediately at the start. Shutdown going on to Contigo. Poor, maybe not exactly one you wanted, but you don't even care at this point. Sir Raven now on the wrong side of the map. Sir Raven going to finally go down. There it is.
wow.
Thought they got away for a little bit. Auto attack had gone through. Honestly, that took a really long time for that damage to register on that rocket, not going to lie. At first, I thought it just might have disappeared and just into the ether. But I believe, like, fun fact for you, since it's been a dominant fight for Akuma Sabers, and there won't be much to talk about in terms of fighting, I do believe auto attack, like, projectiles only, like, render for so far in terms of range that they do actually disappear. So if you do ever find yourself going, what the heck did I take damage from? And in a really extended fight, there's a non-zero chance that an auto attack projectile followed you for a really long distance.
Yes, and especially with Jinx with her, what, 800 range on her Q now? So
Yeah, now, yeah.
So I mean, that was really well done. That Ornn ult hit 3, which was huge for that fight. You thought that Veigar had exactly what he was looking for in a choke point with his cage, but not when you're suspended in the air and at 1/4 HP.
Well, if I saw correctly, LL Cool J has largely just been using these cages freely, and if I believe the one that before that fight, the trigger was pulled as soon as it went down. LL Cool J, I believe, used it in the Baron pit to maybe find somebody there hitting the Baron, but only found, I want to say, Contigo Poor in that fight. And the use of that, and as soon as they only found him and they knew that it was down, yeah, triggered pulled, and without that baby cage available, there's no more space controlling. I mean, you can use Mytherium and Sir Raven to try to find their way into the back line, but with how much protection that Wrath of WG is currently getting, it just clearly hasn't been enough. Having their own cleanse, having the lantern, having the, I forget that Mikhail's Crucible. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out that name. I was honestly delaying myself. So I was so upset Mikhail's Crucible because it took me like 10 minutes to figure out its name. But my own mistakes aside, Jed will be found out. Jed will not be taken low all that quickly. No, actually won't stay alive for now because it goes down at the start of this fight. But that's not exactly the biggest damage threat that you want to see. Mytherium, though, however, no longer going to be creating space for the rest of the team. And now here comes the counter engage, the ever so crucial counter engage. Sun and Stars picks that up with a death sentence. Spirit Rush in, finds the Trauma to Data. 4 down, 4 for nothing, 4 for 1 now. Sir Raven, the Twin is immune, but I don't believe for much longer. Ace, 4 for 1, Mommy, 5 for 1. In a very sudden fight, so 2 very essential fights. Con Esports secures them game 2 and the first win taken off Con Esports. Not only is it the first win taken off Con Esports, in a fairly, I mean, all things considered, especially how the start of this game went, very incredible fashion too.
Yeah, 2-0. They're setting a statement with this win.
Yeah, that is not what I had on the docket. I definitely felt like it would have been a lot closer than what other people may have predicted coming into this one. Akuma Sabers, sitting third, had a little bit of a tough schedule going on to. Their only loss was, I believe, to TTM Tethys, who are also one of the favorites to win the whole league. And so not exactly, you would look at it, okay, 6-5 win record going to, yeah, they're good, but are they Con Esports, who have only dropped 3 games this whole split? They've almost single-handedly doubled the amount of game losses that Con Esports has grabbed in just, at least in game time, in just over an hour.
Yeah, and you love to see it because they were in such a tough spot, but again, that Lee Sin and that Ornn really shining that game. Lee Sin getting so many picks and Ornn following up, making sure that, I'm sorry, let me figure out which team is which, my bad. Make sure Con Sabers could not get the counter engage.
They changed size after day 1.
Yeah, I know, and mine still works from that, but...
Yeah, no, I've also readily admitted that I do find troubles with that, but our troubles of being able to switch sides and mirror a map, I know incredible won that. That aside, incredible victory from Akuma Sabers. Well, I mean, fair play to them. Proved everybody wrong with that Victor Day with 2 substitutes as well, nonetheless, and a misplaced Toomey in the mid lane. Having to swap down there to allow Contigo Poor to play that top side, play those tanks. Absolutely stellar performance today from, well, I guess, Sun and Stars. Oh, geez. Me walking into these puns that I don't even realize I'm making beforehand. Either way, that aside, thank you for tuning in. If you have done, if you enjoyed, do all of this stats. I've had a blast so far this one, and an absolute twist of the tail heading into week 6. And we'll just have to wait and see until then. But until then, yeah, I've been Isaac. It's been Stoa. Behind the scenes, Wookie Monster, always a legend. Been working with him forever. Can't say enough nice things about him, and we will send you out. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Keep moving on.